much of it is vulnerable to like conditions of a game, field position, score, momentum?
You got to go in with an intentional plan. That's. I'm not saying that's the gospel. I'm saying that's how we've done it in the past. If you look back at Troy, we were pretty intentional about playing our two quarterback a good bit, and you have to go into with significant plan. Where you run into some issues is just your ability to practice, your amount of practice repetitions you get, your limited time wise, and our guys are so different, and so you got to make sure you're keeping it as close to the same as you can for your offensive line and your receivers.
Following up on Matthews, he was competing at corner, and now it's kind of moved to look like more in that safety, rover, different roles. Was it a combination of the way Porter's played or Matthews playing better at this spot? What went into that?
Yeah, and he played some corner on Saturday too. He's got some flexibility. That's a good thing. And that was one of the things that really drew us on junior college, because at Gulf Coast Community College, he played it all. He played everything, boundary safety, he played free safety, he played nickel, he played corner. And so he's kind of doing it all for us now too. We haven't asked him to be the high safety yet. Why we're finding more snaps for him, and we always talk about, hey, you earn what you get, and he's earning more playing time. So we're working on figuring out how to get him in the game, just because he has gone and he's struck. He's at the second and third levels, man. He has come and tackled well. He's defeated blocks on the perimeter better than anybody on our team so far. So we're finding reps for him because he's earned them, and he's still practicing some at corner. He played in the game. He'll probably play in this game some at corner too. But when we get into some dime package stuff, we think he can be a difference maker there inside.
You had to live with a lot with Sam James. You stayed with him, and now it seems like he's paying off. How important is that to a coach and to a player, the ability to stick with the guy?
Yeah, I think when guys have talent, it's easier to have patience with, and we talk about it with our kids. It's, we're always going to be fair. It's not necessarily always going to be equal, just based on certain criteria. And Sam, first of all, he's a great kid. I don't guess he's a kid. He's a great young man is probably the better way to put it. And he's been through a good bit, through our 3 years with him. He was here the year before when he redshirted. But he's a guy that he probably he got pressed into duty. He was our go-to receiver in 2019. He wasn't ready for it, but that was what we needed him to be. And he had some big successes, but he also had some moments that were tough to overcome. And then last year, a little bit of a mixed bag. And now I think the great lesson for him and really for the people on our team is his investment has been so high that he's reaping the benefits. And he's just worked. He's worked. He's always had speed, and he's always had talent. And now over the last really 9.5 months, his investment has been extremely high. And so it's starting to show up on game days.
With 2 games under your belt, what kind of a feel do you have at this point for how ready your team is to take on a ranked challenge in Virginia Tech? And what have you seen from your team that gives you confidence that you can maybe pull off the upset?
Yeah, well, so week 1, if you look at it, as we get away from it, that game basically came down to turnovers. I think it was 4-0. And so there were some things that we took away that we weren't necessarily pleased with how we played, but also, that's a team that's, they've got talent, and that they're going to be a good football team. They're going to have a good year at Maryland. So it wasn't. We learned that we can't turn the ball over. We learned that we've got to be better on both fronts. Wasn't fired up about how we played on defense. Last week, we got a lot of people playing. I don't know if we learned anything about our team. On the game day, we got better as the week went in practice. That's for sure. We practiced harder last week than we normally would because of who our opponent was on Saturday. And so I think the tell will be in how we perform on Saturday. It's a big game. It's a big game because it's next game. It's a big game because it's a rivalry game. And so, I think we'll know a lot more about our football team on how we perform on Saturday.
A lot of talk about your quarterback. They played pretty kind of effectively last game. Didn't do that in the first game, but I'm guessing they got your attention. What did you see? What do you think?
Yeah, I don't want to take from them, but I think they go into it with Burmeister as their guy. I think he got hit one time in that game. He came out, and I thought the guy that played was really efficient. And I think that, and that's what you want when your guy goes down. You want somebody to come in and still run the offense and be really efficient. I thought they were, but we're preparing for Burmeister. I think that his ability with his feet makes them really hard to defend, especially when they play in 12 personnel, because you got extra gaps to defend. So with his ability, they do a good job mixing up who he's reading too, and so it's going to be a challenge for us on defense.
I wanted to ask you about conference expansion. Just what do you think the 4 teams are going to bring to the Big 12, and how do you feel in general about some of the jockeying for positions going on throughout college football?
Yeah, I'm going to kind of give you a boring answer. I really hadn't thought about it. Honestly, I really haven't. Kind of let Shane and Dr. Gee deal with it. It's kind of is what it is. Like I'm sure it'll come up next week too. I mean, it really doesn't affect anything we're doing here and now. We're so ingrained in trying to get better as a football team and trying to win games, so you don't really think about it. Our schedule's not going to change this year. It's probably not going to change next year. And so, as somebody that deals with this age bracket, if it doesn't affect them here and now, it doesn't really matter. So that's kind of how we've tackled it.
Neal, you got to look at all your running backs Saturday. Obviously, Letty was the only one that carries against Maryland. I'm sure that wasn't ideal. Who kind of stood out to you Saturday? How important is it to maybe get one or two of those guys some work Saturday?
Yeah, well, we're going to need somebody to step up for sure. And Tony and Justin will kind of jockey to see who'll get those 2 reps. Tony earned them in fall camp. He's come back off an injury, a minor injury that he missed the Maryland game. I thought he was rusty. I thought missed 2 big runs, but he had a couple quality runs too. Thought Justin, for his first college action, was okay. He had one really good blitz pickup. He had 2 really good runs. He had a couple that he'd probably like to have back. And so I thought there were some flashes there. I think, Justin's a little antsy, Tony's a little rusty. So we'll figure out who's going to get those secondary carries by how they perform this week.
Where's Lance Dixon at now? How do you see him?
Yeah, he's work in progress. He can really run. He flashes. He's got to be more consistent. He's done a nice job on our kickoff team. He played a lot of snaps on Saturday. He's got to cut down on some of the mental errors, but he's athletic. He's really athletic, and he's probably as fast as anybody we have on defense.
Getting closer with Mike O'Loughlin.
Yeah, it's a hope. He did some things yesterday. He's on practice today, so we'll see where that goes.
Same with Darrell Middleton. You just didn't mention him previously in the rotation.
He played. He played on Saturday in the second half. He was okay. He's got to take care of business. Taking care of his body and those type of things. He's learning. He hadn't practiced much with us. So whether he plays or not depends on what kind of week he has.
You've obviously got a really hellacious 2 games back-to-back here. And as tough as that is it good in a way that you're playing Tech this week because you know that no one's going to be looking ahead to Oklahoma as opposed to if you've been playing, some other less challenging team this week?
Yeah, but I would assume, we've got our hands full this week. I don't think our guys are necessarily looking ahead. We play a pretty difficult schedule, and so our guys are excited about this one. They're going to be excited about the next one, and so it's, it's kind of, it is what it is on it. We're going to play on national TV about every week, and we're excited to be home. I think that's the thing that people haven't talked about as much is I thought last week, after our disappointing performance and then who we were playing last Saturday, I thought our fans turned out that they were in the game. I was really impressed that they stayed. I really was. I had some people visiting from out of town, and they talked about it. It's like, I can't believe how many fans stayed in the fourth quarter, and I thought that was extremely impressive. I think it speaks really well to our fan base. And now, really probably for the first time going back to 2019 when we played Texas, this is going to be an electric atmosphere on Saturday. Our guys are really looking forward to it, and it's going to be a fun day.
Okay, thanks, Coach.
All right, thanks.